Right, here we go then. Going to line up on the grid now, and it will be Barry Kemp on pole position, a reverse grid pole. Red lights are up, and we're about to get underway for the first of two reverse grid races at Watkins Glen. And there's the green flag, and Barry Kemp leads the field away, and Fredriksson looks like he got a good enough start, but Brian Boomsma coming straight down the middle of the field trying to get up into third place straight away. May have Fredriksson as well by the time they get into turn one. No, just tucks in behind that blue and yellow car. All sorts of calamities going off behind him, and I think Danny Henny was involved in that.
Yeah, he actually started it, Chris. He had missed his braking point for the first corner and went ploughing into the back. I think it was Kyle Power, but he's got some serious front wing damage.
One of the cars from the front of the field has gone flying. It was James Marabello, the number 299 car, and there's more contact as they emerge up on the top of the hill of the S's. We've got absolute carnage. Now, all sorts of dramas and calamities, so I would imagine all of our championship contenders were caught up in that. Although I see David Hatton in 18th place. He hasn't made up much ground, but he is going, and crucially, I can't see any scuffs on his car. So that's critical for David Hatton, and we know he has to make some moves in this championship, and he's already picking up Matt Trumpets for 17th.
Yeah, so Danny Henny instigated at the first corner, but then there was a pile-up in front. He managed to thread the needle as he was going through that second lot of incidents, so he's relatively unscathed, just a bit of a bent front wing.
So Kemp comes across the line to start lap 2, and he's ahead of Boomsma by 0.4 of a second. They went over the line. Fredriksson in third place, further 2 seconds back. And then Stephen Taylor, Adrian Clark, and Alex Van Gien right up in there as well. Van Gien could be on the podium for what I think would be the first time in the Formula Renault Challenge. That almost doesn't sound right.
There's also going to be a lead change here as Boomsma goes to the inside of Barry Kemp coming up the back straight. He's got him well before the braking zone.
At no point in Kemp defending it. He knows that Brian is going to be significantly quicker than him. So don't bother trying to brave it out around the outside. Just keep your nose clean. I mean, with so many cars, so many quick cars crucially as well, getting involved in incidents, that his chances of a podium have really skyrocketed. Van Gien is very much making the moves up into 4th place already, ahead of Clark and Taylor. So now he's going to be lining up the new boy, Fredriksson, and get himself onto the podium. But this would be a good time to break out my stats of podium finishes, and do you know how many we've had? Not enough to fit on one sheet of paper, I can tell you that much. I think 22 different podium finishes, and Van Gien would make it 23.
Yeah, but as you said, Chris, that really surprised me that Van Gien hasn't made it onto the podium yet. He's a consistently quick driver. Hatton has made some great progresses up in P9, so I think with the initial frenetic first lap, he's relatively unscathed there. So P9, and he's got a good couple of cars in front of him that I reckon he can make it round. Further down, you've got Trumpets in 11th, and Danny Henny is back in, well, actually, from my timing screen, it looks like he's plummeting. So actually, I've got him as 22nd place at the moment, all by himself. So, you know, this could be a big gain here.
Yeah, we'll see as they come across the line. It'll update once again. But Van Gien going to put himself up in that podium position that he hasn't claimed before. He's most definitely fought for podiums before. We all remember that stout Sterling defence of his reverse grid pole at Nürburgring in the first season. But Conor Marr, who is a lap down, giving Fredriksson a slipstream. Actually, that's going to be most welcome to the debutant as he's trying to defend from Van Gien, but no chance of it. Van Gien through into 3rd place. Actually, Kemp, this would be his first podium as well, so it's going to be all about how quickly David Hatton can get through the field. He's only 5 seconds off these guys at the moment.
He is, but crucially, he hasn't got that toe for anybody, so he's going to have to make it stick through the corners rather than just relying on being dragged down the straights to make that progress, Chris.
Do it the old-fashioned way. Well, he's 0.9 of a second behind Gary Thomas at the moment, who is squabbling with Adrian Clark. That should help him out.
And you know what? Barry Kemp is not being dropped that quickly by Boomsma. Boomsma now is out in front He's got a bit of a toe from a back marker, but he's, Vanjeen, if he gets a move on, he might actually have a chance of even better than third place this evening.
Boomsman's got to be careful. There's so much traffic around, and as they're all squabbling as well, we've seen cars just drop it off the circuit. Got to be careful he isn't going to get collected in one of these silly little incidents, because this should be an easy win now for Boomsma.
You should, although, watch out for Hatton. He has just made a move on 6th place. I would say he is rapidly coming through the field.
His fastest lap of the race is a 44 flat, but that also matches the best lap of Boomsma as well. And his lap last time around was a second slower because he is making his way through the pack. He's currently 9 seconds off the lead. Gary Thomas, the next car ahead of him for 5th place in what kind of looks like an optical illusion with the yellow and black. Very similar to our old Swarm livery, actually. It's rather nice. And then the debutante Fredriksson ahead of them as well, and just a little bit of lap traffic in between them. Stefan Froelich is another name that a lot of our viewers might be unfamiliar with. I believe this is his first race in the Formula Renault Challenge. I certainly don't remember seeing him out earlier this season. And he's running up in 8th place at the moment. Got Mark Greenhow chasing him down, but he's also got Adrian Clark ahead of him for close company. So let's see if any of our title contenders have been able to gather this up. I see Henny down in 18th place, all by himself really, and Carl Power in 19th, a few seconds back. Where did Tim Ehlers come out in all of this? I don't see him anywhere. Maybe 22nd? Certainly it's gone horribly wrong for most of the title contenders. Hatton, surely he's going to be taking full advantage of this. So for 4th place, it's really closing up now. Fredriksson, Thomas and Hatton right together as they rise up the S's at the start of lap 5. And now we may well see what Fredriksson is made of in terms of wheel-to-wheel racing. So Thomas moves over to the inside.
We'll see if Hatton can follow him through on the inside. Here he goes.
There you go. Nicely done. Gary Thomas opened up the door for him, and Hatton happily walked through it. And now he's got to pick his way through. In terms of the gap, he's still about 3.5 seconds behind Vanjeen for the podium. And even though he's coming through the field, I think he's currently lapping quicker than him as well. So that could well be on by the end of the race.
He is. We are coming up to the end of lap 5. The pace at the front is pretty tight actually. Boomsma on a 44.0, Vanjeen 44.6, and Hatton on a 44.0 as well. So it's going to be quite hard to bring down that gap without that toe.
I fully expected Boomsma to romp clear, but last time round he was only 2/10 quicker than Kemp. So Barry Kemp's doing a phenomenal job at the moment and is very much on course to take his first podium in the Formula Renault Challenge.
On the start-finish straight, Hatton has got a good toe. He's only 0.2 behind Thomas now. He's going to probably not make a move into the first corner and try and line him up down the back straight.
Yeah. This battle going on for 4th place. And again, I wonder if Gary Thomas is going to defend it all that much.
There is a back marker ahead that might give him a little bit of a toe, so he might be able to defend this if he thinks about it.
So Thomas moves to the right. It's actually Hatton who's going to get the slipstream from the back marker, and could well end up boxed in if he's not careful. We've all seen that trick done before, but no response to the top end speed of that number 1 car, and now he's got to safely navigate the back marker. He does so. So that's 4th place and 3.5 seconds to Alex Vanjeen to deny the Missed Apex panelist his first podium in the series. Oh, that would be harsh, cruel even.
Oh, it would be. Boomsma at the front. He's not got it plain sailing. He's got a number of back markers ahead of him. So the next few laps will be crucial for him because they are actually in quite a battle with Stephen Williams being part of that. So we've got to rely on them noticing that he's coming up and getting out of his way pretty sharpish. Although he does have a good 3-second gap back to Barry Kane.
Yeah, that's why you want to try and build these advantages, really, isn't it? Because it gives you a bit of breathing space in situations exactly like this. And he is pulling that gap all the time. Camp had not a great one last time around. It was in the 45s. Let's see what it is this time around. It's another 45 flat. So Boomsma definitely did put a fair bit of distance on him that time around. See the pace of David Hatton and how quickly he can close up on Alex Van Gien. He was 4 tenths quicker last time round with 4 laps to go. It's a bit of a tall order. So that battle ahead of Boomsma actually, which is really kicking off fantastically. It looks like that's Garen Batten and Lucas Raskovitz squabbling over 23rd place at the moment, and they're having a really good ding-dong, but I wonder how aware they are of the fact that the race leader is coming up behind them very, very quickly. I believe the phrase to describe blue flags in this series is as advised.
Yeah, absolutely. Here he comes around the outside. I don't think they have seen him because they're not jumping out of the way particularly quickly. I've just got Sebastian Vettel's kind of rants ringing through my head right now. As the first of them, Lucas Raskovitz, does move out of the way of Boomsma finally, but Garen Batten is not wanting to let Stephen Williams go. So as they come back around to the start of the circuit, we'll see if he is able to move out of the way.
We're about to take another lap off and start lap 8. So 3 to go, and Boomsma would take his second victory this season after taking a maiden win at Suzuka. Couldn't have been on 2 more different circuits, could it really?
Shows the versatility of the man. He's able to win at 2 very, very polar opposites. I would say this is a wonderful circuit with all these slipstream opportunities and flowing corners, but yeah, nothing like Suzuka. David Hatton there has lost a little bit of time to Van Gien in that battle because he was overtaking on the back markers. Coming to the first corner, he didn't get quite the good service that Boomsma is currently getting. So he's dropped back to 3.2 seconds behind Van Gien. That's looking like an insurmountable gap right now, Chris.
Yeah, if anything, Van Gien is closer to Kemp. Lapping a similar pace. It's going to come down to how quickly they get through any traffic, really, isn't it? That gap's currently 2.1 seconds. I've got to say, Fredriksson is being mightily impressive. He's still running in 6th place in only his 2nd race, his first night racing in this championship. Got Mark Greenhow for company. He's making up for lost ground after contact with, I think it was Edward Shelley in race 1 that we didn't quite see, but explains why we saw Van Gien up and down the order. He was involved in that fight.
Yeah,
Adrian Clark.
Sorry, Chris, I was going to say Greenhouse pace is finally coming to show, because I think, as you say, race 1 was a little bit of a lost opportunity for him, so it'd be good to have scored some good points in this race too. Yeah,
absolutely. Greenhow, as we mentioned earlier, he's had a bit of Henny training, so he has got a bit of a speed boost, and Fredriksson not really fighting him all that much. Although this could be very, very tactical, actually. He might repass him. Maybe we're just underestimating him as a debutant. He'll be back past him by the time they know it. Well, he's lost the momentum. Actually, I think he's just trying to keep his nose clean and not get involved in too many fights, and just get through the first night, which I think we can all understand.
Yeah, you want to be invited back, don't you? Because this is what a party this is.
Yeah, the worst thing you could possibly do on your first night is hit one of the hosts.
Yeah, who would do such a thing? It's such a tricky thing. I mean, you got Trumpets actually talking about hosts back in P10 in his gold livery car. He's all by himself right now, but he's doing a fantastic job there. Stayed out of trouble in the first lap and has benefited massively from it.
He's got the Daytona 24 Hours official iRace coming up this weekend as well. And that endurance racing practice he's done has really, really helped him keep his nose clean and also just put in lap after lap after lap consistently. That's something he's been really, really good at. And, it doesn't necessarily suit the sprint race format that we use, but certainly it does allow him to shine in a race like this.
It is closing up a bit at the front. Van Gien only 1.7 behind, but he does have a couple of cars between him and Barry Kemp coming up to the penultimate lap. I don't think it's going to be quite enough for him.
Yeah, Stefan Froelich right in front of Van Gien at the moment. Those cleared him, and then is that Spanner's right in front of him as well? Who's the next car along? Yeah, that gap's 2 seconds, and Boomsma started the final lap, so it looks like both Kemp and Van Gien are pretty secure in their pursuits of their first podiums in this series. And I say it again, I'm honestly really surprised, especially for Van Gien. I definitely don't have enough space for both of these two drivers on my little sheet of paper for wins and podiums stats, so I'm going to have to get another one out.
That just shows how competitive the series is, Chris. I think showing so many people on the podium, it's just fantastic to watch.
Oh yeah, Van Gien will be our 24th different podium finisher in this series. And bearing in mind, we've only done about, 10 races? 11 events, I should say. Not bad. So, Boomsma just coming up to the final sector now. Didn't go his way in race 1, but it could not have gone any better for this race 2, had it? All of his potential rivals came to grief down at the first corner, and he kept it clean, rounded up the slower cars in very quick succession, and has been untouchable as he's built up more than 5 seconds over Barry Kemp. But here he comes out of the final corner and takes his second victory in the Missed Apex Formula Renault Challenge. Nicely done. And Barry Kemp, take a bow, sir. That is your first podium, as it is for Alex Van Gien. David Hatton survived all the skirmishes down at the first corner, and he takes a big chunk out of his rivals in the championship, and could not have been more well timed. Gary Thomas up in 5th place. Mark Greenhow did get 7th, and Stefan Fredriksson in still on his first night, 7th place. That's a fantastic result. Gregory Leader, some solid points there for his gold driver standings. Pursuit in 8th place. Adrian Clark and Matt Trumpets completes the top 10.